Hi everyone, welcome back. So we're at day number 13. So today we're going to create a script that's a bit different. So we'll create a script today that will detect if a certain port in the VM or system is up or not. It will wait for a couple of seconds or the time we specify, and then it will stop checking. So use case scenario for this would be to, let's say, if we need to check if we are interlinking different applications, like say one of the application depends on another application to become available, or being the port being stopped or something like that. So this script will be helpful in that way. A specific field this could be useful is something like, let's say, in a CI/CD pipeline where things are kind of depending on each other, and you can probably add scripts like this to kind of make the decisions to kind of start things, stop things. So it's a very useful script to kind of detect ports and or services. Not even ports, like you can also link it to, like, let's say, services. Like you can modify the script to kind of check for services until it becomes available. Let's say an endpoint, web endpoint health check to become okay. So you can always revise the script to kind of do those things. So for the bash script, so we'll be using netcat utility. So this particular one is used to evaluate the connection, like you test TCP UDP connectivity between systems, and also it's a very useful tool in ethical hacking if you're into that stuff. As you can see, if you go to their website, a lot of good information there. So I'd highly suggest that you visit their website, official website, and look around for how netcat is being used. Especially, you'll find examples how it's being used in, like, ethical hacking. And if you're interested in that, like, yeah, it's a very good website, and also a very good introduction to netcat and all the related technologies. So and then for Python, we'll use the socket module. So socket module is going to be it's a standard library that creates a TCP connection, and it's across platform. Obviously, like in Windows, it's available. Whatever Python is installed, you can run. You can use this module. So it's a very useful one. So we'll get started with Bash, and then we'll move on to the Python script. So we'll use set u. So this will treat unset variables as an error. Then we'll declare variables. One would be host, and then port, and then timeout, how long we want this program to run. So we're going to also specify the arguments. So if they're provided, we are using that. If not, then we're going to use whatever we provide here. So in this case, localhost. You can also obviously add remote servers, and the ports we are monitoring is port 22, and then we are setting the timeouts to 30 seconds. Okay, so what we'll do is we will check first if check with netcat first. And if it's not installed, we'll use something like there's a built-in dev TCP that ships with Linux that we can also try using to do the same thing. So we can do that, use that if netcat is not available. So we're assuming netcat will be available. So if command vnetcat which is NC. $2 %2. Yep. And then we'll try with dev TCP. We'll redirect it to dev now. Then we'll use a flag here. So it's just to determine that if we're using dev TCP or not. But if netcat exists, we'll set the flag to use dev TCP equals 0 because the netcat exists, so we don't have to worry about using the dev TCP. So So here we also need to check like how much time it took like basically it's counting the timeout. So that's why we're putting in seconds play timeout. Then we'll loop until timeout. Using a while loop. We do so while do, and if Then we're going to check the flag here, which is this one. Then we use a netcat to scan. So all this is just to check if netcat is available or not, and then we, based on that, we use the appropriate tools to scan stuff. And then, so if nc z, so we scan mode, and then short sets a short connect timeout part try here. So w1 1 second, and it will loop through every time. So it will get to the appropriate amount of timeout number that we set here. So this scan is successful. We say that scan is the port is open. So if the port is open in host, we don't really need to continue with the script because hey, the port is open. But if we stop, then we'll wait until it is open, but we'll check on a certain amount of time because we don't want it to kind of forever checking. But you can do that if you want. But for this script, yeah, we'll check certain number of time, and then it will just stop checking, saying that hey, the port is not available. Sorry. Then it will exit with 0 because it's successful here. Then we'll close this if statement, and then else. We'll try the dev TCP. So we'll just echo, if it's scanned successfully, we'll just going to put the same thing, but we'll also include using def TCP, so we know. And we might want to install netcat if that's the case, if we want to. And then the exit zero, the return code is the same because it is successful. So even with the dev TCP. Then we'll close this if, so this whole if here. Then sleep 1. So it'll sleep 1 second. We're still inside the while loop here, and then when this after do that, we put done, and then echo timeout expired for port, and then we'll put in the port in host after, and then we'll put in the timeout seconds, so it'll be $, then timeout s. And the exit code will be different here because yeah, so it's the port wasn't really available at all, so that timeout expired, so we have to kind of get out of the script, and yeah, so we stopped monitoring at that time, so that's why I'm putting in the exit one. So let's look through our work here and then save this. Then let's try to run this. So let's run as is first. Use dev TCP is unbound here. Use dev TCP. Okay, I think the mistake I made is here. So this has to be its own else statement, and then we can declare this that so this if statement belongs to this else statement belongs to this one here. Yeah, so else we are just declaring that like we're setting this to 0, the tag to 0. So let's try running this one here. As you can see, port 22 is open, which is correct because this VM has SSH connection open. I actually opened it, so that's why it's saying that. So if we do the same thing, let's say 127.0.0.1, and then we put in, let's say, port 80, and then timeout, let's do 5 seconds. So port 80 is not open, so it's waiting for it to become available. But since 5 seconds expired, we're just stopping the script and basically saying that, hey, it's not available, so I'm just going to exit and put in an exit code of 1. And you can use this exit code, return code, to kind of create another script perhaps as like a signal to start the service. So this is one of the use cases here. So next we'll hop onto the Python script, and then we'll do the same thing here using the socket module. So we're going to declare some variables again. Host, port, and then timeout. Before we do that, we have to import some modules here, as always. So we'll import socket, sys, and time. Same thing, we're checking input. And we'll put this, and we're actually going to copy this over here. Then second argument, and then third argument. Going to put in 30 seconds. The deadline is time.time plus timeout. Part try connect timeout in seconds. So we're going to put in a variable here. So it'll wait 2 seconds, and we'll use try statement. Then while time is less than deadline, and the try statement. So it will attempt to create connection. Socket, create connection, and we'll put in host and then port. and the timeout equals par try timeout. As s object, and then print. So if there are exceptions, if no exception, connection succeeded, then let's see here, print. Then it will exit the system with the status 0 because the port is open. And then for this try block, the except here, we socket timeout. Sorry. Socket timeout, not soccer, socket timeout. Connection refused error is what we're looking for here. Idle time sleep 1 second. So port not open yet, so sleep and retry again. Then accept. Another exception here, exception CXC. So for unexpected socket errors, print the debug information and continue. So do not fail immediately. So that's what it's doing. But also do not spam. So it's wait is before retrying. So we have to wait until you retry again. So let's put in like a simple message here. I will sleep 1 second. And if timeout expired, we exit out of the script. Copy this over here. Actually, the message will put in different message here. Timeout. Waiting for port. I guess port. We'll put in the port variable here, and then on host, and then after timeout. Timeouts. Then file equals system standard error. And then we'll exit out with the exit code of 1 because we timed out and the port was not available during the allocated time here. So for this try block, we also need to put in an exception catching here. This is if, let's say we interrupt the keyboard, we do Control C or something like that. We'll get out of the program here. Then for this one, it will put in the system exit code, let's say 2, just so we can maybe use this value in a maybe a function, maybe if we're extending it, or if we are maybe using it in like a logging, I guess logging program. We can use these return values to make decisions based on that. So that's the program. Let's run this and hope it works in the first try here. We're gonna run this without anything first, without specifying the parameters. Sorry. So Python 3. Host invalid syntax. Okay, let's see, maybe we made a mistake the first one. Okay, oh sorry, it's not I'm running the shell one. Okay, this is the Python one here. It says trace back, unsupported operand, float, and string. Line 8. Line 8 is let's try converting this to float to accommodate, let's say, milliseconds. Say here. Okay, now it's fixed. So we just need to declare the value of like is it an int or a float. So we're keeping it to float because what if you kind of want to also specify milliseconds, so we can also accommodate that. So right now, as you can see, port 22 is open. So if we do the same thing, let's say with a different port 80, and then 5 seconds, let's check. It's not, port 80 is not open, so after 5 seconds it will stop executing, and then we're good. Yep, so there's the Python one here. Does the same thing as the bash one. Thanks for joining again for the 13th script for the 13th day, 13th number script, and yep, have a nice day. Bye.